This video is going to continue a discussion that I started about a month ago. I did a video for people thinking about attending church for the first time. And the video was primarily on how to look at potential churches to attend, how to find some good candidates, what to think about in terms of what to wear, if you need to bring a Bible, what if you have kids, what about communion, if you don't know anything about communion. So it was really talking about finding a church and entering the Sunday service. On this video, I'm going to kind of zoom out a little bit, and we're going to approach the social aspects of most churches. Now, I'm talking primarily here about the Protestant church. I'm not Orthodox, I'm not Catholic, I'm a Protestant churchgoer, so that's primarily the church we're talking about here. So let's dive right into it. And if you do want to see that first video, there's a link in the description. You can check that out too. But the church offers so much more than just a Sunday service. There's a lot of social aspects to a church that I want to clue you in on, so that there's a very good chance you'll get a calendar or a church bulletin that will have a list of events coming up. And I want to be able to prepare you so that you can look at that and know exactly what you're looking at. The first thing I want to talk about is the pace at which you take these events, and that is completely up to you. The right pace is the one that you're comfortable with. Extroverts may just jump in and try everything right away. Introverts, they may want to sit in the back pew for the first 6 months and just kind of watch and observe, and either way is completely fine. So you shouldn't receive any pressure from anyone at the church. I've never seen that happen before in terms of attending some of these other events. But just take it at your own pace. Make sure that it's comfortable for you. Now, you're going to find as you go to church and as you go to these events that the 80-20 rule absolutely applies to the church. So you're going to find a core group of people in most churches. It could be somewhere in the range of 10 to 20% of the people. You'll see them at virtually every event. You'll see somewhere 30 to 50%. They go to church on Sunday and that's it. And some of them only hit Sunday service every now and then. And I'm not dissing anybody here. Everybody should get out of church what they want to, although I am going to encourage you to check out some of these events because it's important for a number of reasons, which I'll go through. But I would recommend you as you find a church that you're kind of going, you know what, this feels like a pretty good group of people. I may settle here for a while and see how it goes. I would recommend you go to some of these events. It's a great way to get closer to the people in the church. And let me tell you, the church is the people that attend it. It's not the building. It's not the pastor. It's not the sect of Christianity that it's in. The church is the people. I may as well say this too. These people are not perfect. All of the things that the personalities and personality quirks that bother you at work or in some of your other social groups, you're going to find them at church. There's going to be people that irritate you. There's going to be people that are just a joy to be around. But developing these relationships, finding out the people that kind of swim in your river, these types of events are a great way to find those people and really settle in on some good friendships. And you'll learn a lot about the church as you get to know these people as well. So let's touch on Sunday service just for a moment. Many churches have just one Sunday service. Many churches have 2 or 3, and some of the bigger churches have more than that. They may have a church service in the morning. They may have one in the evening. They may have one on Wednesday nights or Friday nights for people that work on the weekends. So every church is different. I go to a small church. We have one service at 10 a.m. But if there are more than one service, I think it's an important point to make to try to hit some of the different services. Most people do settle in on one service, but if you're new to the church, check out all the services because they each have a different personality. They may have different aspects, different approach to their music. One may be a more traditional approach to their worship music. One might be more of a rock and roll approach. And there's going to be different demographics at the different churches. Usually the early service, in my experience, is older folks that don't have the kids. It's a lot easier for them to get ready and go to church, whereas the later services generally attract the families with the small kids because it takes them time to get ready. So depending on your demographic and what you're looking for, I would definitely recommend you hit different church services, different times of the services if your church is offering that, because you'll find different personalities of the church. And some of them may even have a different pastor. It all depends on the church. You'll also find that a lot of churches have small gatherings, small groups, Bible classes. Some churches will have classes before service. Some churches will have classes through the week. Mine is on Wednesday night, for instance, and then they also have a Bible study before service as well. Some churches have the resources to break out into numerous groups. They may have a group for women. They may have a group for men. They may have a group for unmarried people. They may have a group for newlyweds. They may have a group for seniors. It's all over the place, and it just depends on the intentions of the church and the resources of the church. But it's a great way to meet the people of the church and really get a good feel for the personality of the church. One church I went to, 25 years ago, they had home groups. So throughout the week, different families would invite people to their home, and they would do a Bible study in the home. It was actually really cool, and very intimate. And you had a wide variety of times and days of the week that you could attend these. It's a cool way to do it. But anyway, strongly recommend you check those out. They should be Bible-based. The first church I went to, which we left after about a year and a half, they had a whole bunch of different groups before service, and we went to one. And honestly, it was a gossip session. It was a bunch of people talking about their neighbors. That is not what these groups are for. And that was really kind of put our antennas up, and we're like, this doesn't seem like what a church should be doing. So you'll learn a lot about the church through these groups and what the groups are about, right? And we left shortly after that because that just hit us completely wrong that they would allow that to be happening in their congregation. You'll also see retreats. They have couples retreats for married couples. They have women's retreats. They'll have men retreats. And again, some churches will, some churches won't. My church just had a men's retreat. It was at one of the members' houses, and he had some property, and he had a pond you could fish at. It was on a Saturday afternoon. You could fish in the pond, or you could go to the shooting range, bring your gun and your bullets and do some shooting, right? I live in Ohio. We like guns, so it was a great time for the guys just to hang out. And there was a little Bible study with it. It was very cool. So that's a really nice thing to attend if you have the time. And they're usually Bible-based. There's usually a topic. There may be a guest speaker. Sometimes they'll play a video and discuss it, or read a book and discuss it. Churches also love to eat. There are often celebratory meals for personal milestones of church members, or church milestones. If they paid off their building, they may have a dinner or a lunch after service to celebrate that. And again, different churches have different resources to handle this. I've been in churches that have some of the most amazing commercial kitchen equipment that you could find. And my church currently, smaller church, is just a potluck. So you bring a dish, and there's this enormous spread, and everybody's just chowing down and enjoying each other. So that might be a really good entrance point for you in terms of reaching out into some of these other events outside of service. The meals are very casual, they're very relaxed, and hey, who doesn't like to talk and eat and to meet people? It's a great time. Let's talk about youth ministry for a moment. Again, based on resources of the church, this can vary widely. Every church that I've been aware of has tried very, very hard to beef up their youth ministry. You're basically training the next generation in the faith, so they want to handle that with a lot of responsibility. Now, in my church, we have Our kids don't go to service. They go to an age-appropriate class, and they do activities and things to keep them interested. My grandkids love it. They really, really enjoy it. And then there's another Wednesday evening class that they go to. They meet a lot of friends. My grandkids are homeschooled, so they meet a lot of other homeschoolers, which is good for them. But whether they go to public school or homeschooled, it's a great way for the kids to socialize, and they make a lot of new friends, and they do activities and things like that. There's also probably going to be a youth worship team. And this can vary widely from a simple choir to, kids who are learning how to play instruments, and they'll usually do a performance during the holidays. And it's great fun. So when you find a church and you're feeling like, you know what, I think I'm going to settle into this church, you're going to hear about membership. And I want to talk about that for a little bit. The membership has a few implications. The most important one, I think, is that it's basically standing up. It's you standing up and saying, you know what, I love this place, I love these people, and I want to make this my home church. And that's why you become a member beyond anything else. There should be no pressure to become a member. It would be surprising to me if there was. And you can take your time becoming a member. You can take a number of years to become a member. You may never become a member. There's no requirement. Everybody is welcome in any church that I've ever seen. But why would you want to consider outside of the declaration that, hey, this is my church? First of all, there's membership directories. When you become a member, it often puts you into the membership directory. Now, some churches will put people that are not members that go to church regularly in their directories. The directories often have photos. They'll have email addresses or contact information, maybe a phone. The church should absolutely respect your privacy. If you want to keep your contact information private, if you don't want a photo, that's fine. But it's really nice if you sit next to somebody and you really enjoyed them for a few services, and you're like, who are they? How do I reach this guy? I want to go out and get a cup of coffee with him. You can look in your church directory and find his picture and then contact him. And if someone has loss in their lives, in their families, or they're working through a very difficult time, a lot of people will use the church directory to look them up and support them by bringing a meal or sending a card or giving them a quick phone call. So it really is to your benefit to participate in the church directory. Now, there are some other reasons to become a member. Probably the most important one is it allows you to bring your personal talents into the church. And by that, I mean you can participate in business meetings. You can be put on committees, finance committees, management committees, maintenance committees. You may find that your church is looking for a new building or they want to do an expansion. They're going to have a committee to try to organize the budgetary and promotional aspects of that to try to raise the money to do that. So if you want to get involved in that aspect of it, whether it's budget committees, financial drives, selecting a new pastor, new youth pastor, new associate pastor, generally you got to be a member to participate on that level. So if you have some talents to bring into the church, becoming a member is not only good for you, but it's also really good for the church. So I would highly recommend it. So that's what I wanted to cover today. Hopefully this would shorten your learning curve and your expectations, kind of temper your expectations a little bit when you get to church and you start seeing church calendars and their platform that they hand out every Sunday and upcoming events and everything. But I would, again, encourage you to participate at the pace that you're comfortable with. And the best way to settle into a church is to get to know the people that are there. If they love each other, that's a great sign for a church. If everybody is on their own and they're just doing their own thing and there's not a lot of interaction, that's a sign that, maybe things aren't so great. But going to some of these events will definitely get you there quicker. So I wish you well on your venture to go to church, and please let me know if you have any questions. If anybody else wants to add something that you think I missed that would be helpful to the discussion, please leave it in the comments. If this video helped you, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you're so inclined, and I look forward to seeing you again. God bless you.